To address changes to 1070, there are only 2 hospitals serving patients in Imperial County, and the region, as you know, faces serious challenges connecting residents to healthcare providers. In 2023, the legislature approved AB 918 to form an Imperial Valley Healthcare District, a countywide healthcare system to stabilize healthcare in one of the state's most underserved communities. Part of the measure required that the newly formed board of the Imperial Valley Healthcare District recommend a funding source mechanism to be placed before voters in March 2024 or November 2024. Unfortunately, as is reflected in your analysis, parties involved have not provided crucial information needed to recommend a funding source as required by statute in time for this election cycle. Therefore, more time is needed fundamentally to allow this district to stand up in an effective way so that it could serve its constituents in an effective way. This bill would extend the deadline to November 2026 election. With me today is Katie Burnworth, who is the board chair of the Imperial Valley Healthcare District.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair and members. My name is Katie Burnworth. I'm board president of the Imperial Valley Healthcare District in support of SB 1070, authored by Senators Padilla and Assemblymember Garcia. We are grateful for the legislators' time and attention as our Imperial County faces an urgent healthcare crisis. Last year, AB 918, jointly authored by Assemblymember Garcia and Senator Padilla, set the framework to consolidate 2 existing healthcare districts into one countywide healthcare district, bringing together our 2 distressed local hospitals to improve our regional healthcare systems and protect access to emergency care. This merger aims to financially stabilize and provide economies of scale in our rural, underserved area. Our Imperial Valley Healthcare District has worked tirelessly to fulfill our obligations under AB 918 and achieve our integration milestones. While our district has made tremendous headway, the lack of cooperation and obstruction from Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District has stalled our efforts to place a necessary funding mechanism on this upcoming November ballot. Instead of cooperating to create a more sustainable healthcare system, they have filed lawsuits and refused to file the necessary information needed to propose an accurate tax to the voters for a permanent funding mechanism. The Attorney General's office has recognized that Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District's unwillingness to cooperate is not just a breach of their obligations in AB 918, but a direct harm to the very constituents that they are sworn to serve. For these reasons, we urge the legislator to pass SB 1070, allowing our Imperial Valley Healthcare District the time needed to recommend an accurate and equitable permanent funding mechanism to our voters in Imperial County. We respectfully urge your aye vote as we strive to continue creating a healthcare system that truly serves the needs of our Imperial County residents with the healthcare that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the public that wants to be added on in support? Please state your name, affiliation, and position on the bill.
Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia, 36th Assembly District, in support of the bill.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else? How about any primary witnesses in opposition to the measure?
Sorry, rearranging a little. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. Sarah Bridge on behalf of the Association of California Healthcare Districts, here respectfully opposed to SB 1070 today. I will keep my comments brief since I know we've all had a long day. Our opposition really rests on the crux that this is sort of taking it out of the local process. AB 918, which we raised concerns with during the process, removed LAFCO's ability and the local voters to make the decision of whether or not they wanted to expand and dissolve the requisites healthcare districts mentioned in this legislation. While we don't have an issue with the top line proposal in SB 1070, we were really hoping to see this unfold through the local process and then the subsequent legislation that was mentioned by both the support and in the analysis. We'd like to see both the local process and the legislation carry out before the legislature takes another attempt at making changes to the law. For those reasons, we are in respectful opposition today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Chris Bjornberg, and I'm the CEO at Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District in Brawley, California. I'm here today representing the district to respectfully oppose SB 1070 unless amended. This bill would extend the deadlines for the Imperial Valley Healthcare District created in AB 918 without extending any other provisions. Our hospital is essential to the community that we serve and to the network of care delivered to the Imperial Valley. While we support a county-wide healthcare district approach, we have concerns about the process and procedures used to achieve this goal. SB 1070 proposes amendments to AB 918, one, that no longer require a countywide approval, and two, extend the countywide tax proposal deadline. As a result of AB 918, citizens were prevented from voting on their representation on IVHD. Those who in the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District and Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District, who are the only ones paying taxes to support healthcare in the Valley, will continue to bear the burden exclusively and without consent, with the representation on IVHD board being especially diluted. Additionally, contrary to what some committee members may have been told, PMHD never had the opportunity to review or provide input on SB 1070. This lack of consultation is concerning and underscores the need for more inclusive and transparent process. Our request to the author of the legislature has been straightforward. IVHD, in conjunction with Pioneers Memorial Hospital, is not ready to merge by December 1st. SB 1070 offers the legislature an opportunity to address this issue. We appreciate the efforts of the author and the committee staff to address the needs of our community. However, for the reasons stated above, we respectfully request your no vote on this measure.
Thank you. Anybody else in the room that wants to go on the record in opposition? Seeing none, I take it back to the committee members' questions, comments. Mr. Sally.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This seems a little complicated, so I have a couple questions. First, the opposition. If this bill doesn't pass and they're not able to seek this tax revenue, what happens to the hospitals?
As far as those that are in current operation, nothing happens. We continue to operate.
Okay, and you don't want to be taken over?
The board of PMHD does not want the process to play out
Okay,
the way that's aligned.
So is this like government taking over these hospitals? It'd be run by government?
Essentially, yes, because right now, currently, the district hospital is government, correct? And PMHD is a district hospital where ECRMC is not.
I see.
So it would be combining both of them into a district together.
Okay. Well, let me ask the senator. It's your bill. They've had 2 years to do it. They didn't do it. Why come in last minute and give them an extension? It seems like if there's so much resistance, the community may not want this deal, and the hospitals seem to be functioning just fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and Assembly Member, I think it's sort of ironic. This isn't an opportunity, respectfully, to the opposition to relitigate the merits of 918. The record is replete and fat with the reasons why such a district needs to be stood up and needs to be given a reasonable opportunity to succeed in compliance. I think your own analysis clearly lays out a number of facts as to why we're here today and why, in fact, it's, I would probably use the term frustration, intentional frustration and some litigation. Some of these cases with respect to the LAFCO process required intervention from the AG. So there's been non-compliance issues, there's been non-cooperation issues, there's been litigation that has drugged this out by design. The people of this region, the question of whether you need to establish a district to retain the solvency of this healthcare infrastructure and to continue the viability of healthcare delivery systems in this underserved community is beyond doubt, and that was established and settled when 918 was chaptered.
Are you saying these hospitals are going to go under if this bill doesn't pass?
Do you want to address?
So I want to say that these hospitals would have went under had AB 918 not passed.
That's not my question.
I know, but this...
Hold on. You don't get to answer the question you want to answer. You have to answer my question. My question is very specific.
Okay, no...
if this bill doesn't pass, will these hospitals go under? Excuse me, I'm speaking. I'm not
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Sally, I believe that she was trying to answer your
No.
question. Can you answer his question specifically?
Please, thank you.
Yes, so this bill here is just an extension of AB 918. We've done a fiscal analysis, which should be in your bill analysis, that shows that both hospitals merged in now with the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District, which is now had been absorbed by Imperial Valley Healthcare District, supplies supplemental funds that neither hospitals had received prior to this. So the long story short, yes, we do have financial stability to get us through to these next 2 years while we ask for this extension, knowing that we will need a supplemental tax moving forward.
My question is if you think the hospitals are going to go under if this bill doesn't pass.
No.
They will not go under. Okay, so
Well,
what is the, I guess my other question is, what is the urgency? Why are we, I guess the
Well,
reason
Miss-
my frustration is, I don't, this process is a gut and amend. This language came into print August 22nd. I've had people from your district reach out to me and the opposition reach out to me. So we really haven't had time to dig into it. And it feels like it's being rushed to keep the opposition from really being able to meaningfully oppose the bill. So if we're talking about a tax that can't even be voted on until 2026, what's the rush? Why can't we deal with this in regular order next year?
There's an sorry.
The bill is here in front of us. I understand you have a question for them. The process allows for this bill to be in front of us. If you want to answer, go ahead and answer.
I would thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. I would just say, look, the basis for why the 918 was chaptered and why it was supported and necessary, that question has been settled. This is merely a reasonable way to make sure that existing statute is enacted upon. And there is an urgency to it, and there is a financial element to it, as is discussed in your analysis.
But can we deal with it next year during regular process? Would there be any harm in dealing with it next year?
Go ahead and answer
Yeah,
the
you can
question.
answer, anyone.
Thank you.
And that's my last question.
So, to answer your questions, I will say this. The way that the healthcare exists in the community currently, and I've been there for 6 months now. So the way that the healthcare exists in the community right now, it is the benefit of the community that these two hospitals come together. There is no doubt about that. If that does not happen, if the two hospitals are allowed to be separate, there is a strong possibility that the other hospital could go under. I do not believe that that's a possibility for PMHD, but the problem exists at this point in time. If that other hospital is allowed to go under, then that creates a problem for me as PMHD. I do not have the infrastructure to support healthcare in that community by myself. When the ship goes down, you lose the good swimmers. They will jump first, which means good nurses, good providers, all of those people will leave our community, which is going to make it very difficult for me and PMHD. So there is a necessity for the two hospitals to come together. I believe that 100%. In this scenario that you're speaking of right now, one of the issues that I think is there is the fact that you have a new hospital district that is being represented by 7 people. If this new hospital district were to continue to move forward, and this doesn't happen, for example, then the likelihood that the current 7 members of that board being sued because they cannot meet the obligations of AB 19 as it currently stands it goes way up. And now you run into a situation in a community, a small community like that, where the community healthcare is at a crossroads where nobody will want to serve on that board because now they're going to run the chance of being sued simply because of what they've seen from not being able to meet the obligations of AB 918.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Assemblymember Ramos, you had a question?
Thank you. Senator Padilla, in the bill, it talks about being able to go back to the electorate to make the final decision on this at a future ballot. So those constituents in this district will weigh in on the future funding of this district, and they'll have a chance to have that voice heard. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, Assemblymember, absolutely. So that is just a reflection of the existing statute. It's giving the statute a reasonable opportunity, given the circumstances, to execute what you just described. Those people do need to weigh in, and they're in order to maintain the viability of services, and that is what this bill does.
Thank you. And I believe I moved the bill earlier.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Do you want to close, Senator?
Again, the question of the bill per se has been settled. It's law. This is a reasonable piece of legislation that will allow the existing statute to be appropriately implemented for the benefit of the patients in this region, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Thank you for presenting this bill today. We do have a first and a second. I will be voting on your bill. The motion is to pass. Secretary, please call the roll.
Carrillo?
Aye.
Carrillo, aye. Waldron? No. Waldron, no. Asali? No. Asali, no. Haney? Haney, aye. Calra? Calra, aye. Pacheco? Aye. Pacheco, aye. Ramos?
Aye.
Ramos, aye. Ward? Aye. Ward, aye. Wilson? Aye. Wilson, aye.
7-2, the bill is out. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members.
The third item on the agenda is AB 2443. I am the author. I'm passing the gavel to the vice